This was in northern Gaza. Joining us now, retired Brigadier General John Teichert. John, good to see you, and thanks for your time. How would you assess Israel's military strategy so far?
Marni, thus far, it's very clear that Israel is methodically and deliberately surrounding and then starting to squeeze into Gaza City. It's been supplemented by those attacks either from airstrikes or surface-to-surface strikes. But ultimately, they are doing what they can to isolate the northern part of Gaza and then start to squeeze in a very difficult situation in urban warfare that is exacerbated by those underground tunnels that you just mentioned.
Hamas has had years to prepare for this. This we know. The tunnel system is intricate. It's this labyrinth underneath so many areas, including Gaza City. It has hardened their defenses. They've got bunker systems in place. Does that concern you, military speaking, given the timing of all of this now 30-plus days in?
Marni, it's an extremely challenging tactical and operational situation for the Israelis. But thus far, it's clear to me and to other experts that the Israelis have started to isolate Hamas within those tunnels, which is doing a variety of things. Number one, it's giving civilians the chance to evacuate along that humanitarian corridor that was mentioned previously. And it's also then isolating the challenge amongst the IDF as they continue to squeeze in and take out tunnel by tunnel those safe havens for Hamas.
Factoring in the hostages into this equation, as you know, presents some very extreme challenges. How do they do that while also trying to root out Hamas?
Marni, it's largely based on intelligence that they're gathering from a variety of sources to figure out where Hamas is so that they can strike, or where Hamas is so that they can attack. But then also to make sure that as they strike or as they attack, that they're mindful based on that intelligence of where hostages may be, and then ultimately surrounding those areas and trying to extract hostages in the best way possible. But it's a very difficult and challenging situation.
And then the question remains, what happens after Israel captures Gaza City? When and if that happens, there's some differing opinions on this. You've heard Benjamin Netanyahu say that indefinitely that Israel would control that area. The U.S. has pushed back on that, saying that is not a good thing. We don't want to see that. What is the right strategy for a two-state solution if that's what happens?
Marni, you are right that it is proper for the United States to push back against what would be a quagmire of indefinite isolation or occupation there in Gaza City. And I think that even Netanyahu is starting to walk back some of those thoughts, and an international coalition to at least govern Gaza in the short term with expanded security areas so that Israel rightfully is protected from possible future attacks is the right long-term solution. And that's going to take a lot of dialogue with partners in the region. And ultimately, it's in the United States and Israel's best interest to try to start sowing the seeds for those types of thoughts now before the attacking is complete.
We mentioned a moment ago the U.S. airstrike in Syria. U.S. troops continue to be the targets of Iranian proxies in the region. How do you gauge the U.S.'s response so far? And does Iran seem to be getting the message?
Marni, they are clearly not getting the message. We have seen 40 or so strikes against American assets by Iranian-aligned groups. As was mentioned previously, 46 military members injured and one killed as a result. And all that I have seen as a firsthand witness to what goes on in Iraq and Iran is that Iran is only dissuaded when they see strength, capability, will, and resolve. And frankly, for the last 3 years, we have not seen that. And these three strikes that we have undertaken in the last couple of weeks have been late, they have been weak, and ultimately accompanied by what I see as an apologetic statement by the Secretary of Defense. That will not dissuade Iran, and we must strike at more substantive targets to stop Iranian attacks against Americans.
And what would that look like, John?
And no, great question, Marni. There are Iranian proxies that operate out of Iraq and Syria, but there are also more consequential targets that are actually run by Iran themselves, not their proxies. And those now should be the targets of American strikes to take the fight to Iran directly via these positions in Syria and Iraq, instead of just striking or pinpricking at these proxies.
Retired Brigadier General John Teichert, as always, thank you.